Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Tender Gaming. So, on this episode, I thought I'd do something, different, sure. But I wanted to talk a little bit about kind of like Marvel Comics. Obviously, we're playing a Marvel superhero game. No. Shh. Oh, there's so many Hydra guys. There's so many. They're so strong, so mighty. I like to think that Hydra has, like, a water park specifically for them, like Hydra's Wacky World Adventure or something like that. Oh, it makes me so happy just thinking about it. But yeah, okay, so fun fact of the day. Did you know that Marvel's first ever comic was printed in 1939, and it featured the Human Torch versus Submariner? Now, to clarify, it's not the Human Torch from Fantastic Four. This Human Torch was actually a android. And basically, that first comic, they used Human Torch and Submariner basically because Human Torch represented fire and Submariner represented water. And it kind of laid the ground for Marvel Comics going forward, because they weren't like your conventional superheroes. And again, it was actually a pretty popular series from what I understand. So that's kind of your fun fact of the day. Oh, look at my silly cap wall shimmy. So where am I going here? And the first episode, or not the first episode, but the first comic of Captain America was written in 1941, so March 1941. So this guy's been around a while. Now, he did, for a while there, you know, after World War II basically ended, there wasn't really a huge need for Captain America, so he pretty much just disappeared under the water and in the ice and everything like that. And it wasn't until, I think, the 70s, maybe late 60s, that he was actually resurrected and joined the Avengers. So the first Cap comic was printed in March 1941 by Jack Kirby, who is one of my favorite comic book artists of all time. If you don't know Jack Kirby, just take a look at the Marvel Universe, because he pretty much invented it. Him, Stan Lee, and Joe Simon pretty much, like, invented the entire fucking thing. And an interesting thing with Stan Lee was his first comic that he wrote was a Captain America comic. It was Captain America that was printed in 1941. It was Captain America 3. So that was his first ever comic that he penned. Kind of an interesting little fun fact there. So again, 1941 was when Stan Lee wrote his first ever comic. So again, been around a while. Kind of knows what he's doing. And there's a great documentary, I think it's still on Netflix, about kind of the history of superheroes and comics. And it's like, we all know who Stan Lee is. Ooh, another egg. Stan Lee egg. We all know who Stan Lee is. He's a legend. But I never, like, fully appreciated why until I watched this documentary. And it's like, holy shit, this guy fucking did everything. Like, this guy made Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, X-Men, I think Thor, like, everything that we know and love in comics today, it was Stan Lee and pretty much Jack Kirby. Because Jack Kirby pretty much inked or drew and inked just about everything. Oh, I gotta call my girlfriend to give her an update. Oh, nag. Yeah, I'm still here fighting the war for you. Don't worry, I'll pick up milk and eggs on the way home. I still have the list. Jesus. This is actually how they texted back then.
I'm on the eastern edge now.
That and by carrier pigeon. And again, a fun little fact. Spider-Man didn't originally appear in Marvel Comics. He appeared in Amazing Fantasy. I think it was Amazing Fantasy 15, which was drawn not by Steve Ditko, but by Jack Kirby. So fun little, like, interesting fact. Not a lot of people know that. So that's your mini Marvel history lesson for the day. And it is interesting because after World War II ended, superhero comics kind of faded into obscurity because nobody saw a real need for them. Because, like, Captain America, straight, through and through, was just propaganda. Like, the first issue is him punching Hitler in the face. You don't get much more... you don't get more subtle than that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, after World War II ended, I mean, Cap hung around for a little bit. Him and Bucky. And that was another interesting thing with Bucky was the whole reason for sidekicks was to appeal to younger audiences. So they kind of added sidekicks in there, like Cap and Bucky. So you had Captain America, who was more for like soldiers over in, Germany and France and, Europe and just over there. But then you had Bucky, who was supposed to be for like the younger audience. And same with like Batman and Robin. Robin was really meant to appeal to a younger audience. And it is interesting that characters like Spider-Man never really had a sidekick. Because Spider-Man was written strictly for kind of nerdy teenagers. I mean, that was the whole point of him. Oh, this part's great. I get to fucking, like, stop a train with my shield or something. That's how Cap does it. Oh, no, here comes the Red Skull, I think. On his blimp, his big Goodyear blimp. Oh, this part's awesome because I get to weaponize a guy. What was I saying? Yeah. This part's wicked. I get to use this guy's bullet shield. That's awesome. It's so good. Oh, this game's fucking great. This is by far my favorite. Oh, I hit that guy off the bridge. Whoopsie. Oh, here comes not Hugo Weaving. But yeah, so with like Fantastic Four, they didn't make an appearance until 1961. I think it was November, I think. Yeah, November 1961 was when Fantastic Four '1 was written and kind of produced. And so really between, like, I guess like almost the 1950s to 1960s, superhero comics became kind of obsolete because superheroes, again, were kind of used as propaganda, and once the war was over, there was really no need for, like, a Captain America, and Spider-Man wasn't around yet, and, like, this is when Batman was doing more, like, sci-fi stuff. So you get this era, like, in the 50s, of comics like, Patsy Walker and, like, Millie Model and stuff like that, like, really kind of obscure, kind of like almost like Archie-esque comics, and you got a lot of westerns in there. You got like Kid Colt, Two Gun Kid, what was it, Lawbreakers, stuff like that. And again, you started getting a lot of like stuff like Weird Tales and kind of horror comics and romance comics. Because, again, that's what they found was appealing at that time. And it wasn't until the 60s when Stanley pretty much, from what I understand, just had enough. He hated writing, like, romance comics and Western comics and shit like that. And he was going to call it a day. And it was actually his wife who said to him, why don't you just write a comic that you would basically want to read? Why don't you just write something for you and see where it goes? And again, fun little fact of the day, the comic that he wrote was Fantastic Four. And this comic got over huge with people. Because, again, superheroes at kind of that time, Superman and, Captain Marvel and stuff like that were very plain, very 2D kind of characters. They were very... what am I looking for here? I don't know, 3. Yeah, they were very, we fight for justice, freedom, and the American way, and, kind of plain, boring characters, whatever. But with Fantastic Four, Stan Lee wrote it as a group of scientists who get caught in this horrible accident, and now they have superpowers, but they also deal with real-world issues. Ooh, egg. But yeah, they deal with real-world issues. And it was so interesting. It was such an interesting, fresh take on it. And I love the original cover. I'll put up the cover right now for you. Like, I love that Mr. Fantastic is stuck in, like, rope. It's my fucking favorite thing. What are we doing here? What's the one that I'm looking for? I can't seem to see it. Oh my god, I'm gonna fail this. I'm straight up gonna fail this. Because I'm stupid. Oh my god, what is it? Everybody's probably... Oh, it's A. Get in there, yeah. And again, like going a little bit more forward, speaking of Spider-Man, like his original concept, a lot of publishers didn't like the idea because they thought, like, who's going to read a story about a teenage nerd who can't, you know, seem to talk to women and just, he can't catch a break. And Stan Lee basically said to him that, like, teenagers who can't catch a break, who are having these exact problems. And he was absolutely right. Again, Spider-Man was a huge hit off the bat. And again, Amazing Fantasy, not actually Marvel. It wasn't until... I can't remember the actual issue. I could probably find it for you. But yeah, he appeared with the Fantastic Four in his first issue. So... Again, a lot of cool little things with comic books and just how influential they can be. And I'm kicking the shit out of this dude. Can you just die already? Just die. Why'd you fucking die? Yeah. Did it. So that's just a little fun Marvel kind of rough history lesson of, you know, why things are the way they are in comics. And on the next episode, I gotta go fucking drive a train through a wall. So join me then, and I'll probably talk a little bit more about comics. I'll get a couple more little tidbits for you, and keep the history lesson going next time on Captain America's Super Soldier. So join me on Tender Gaming, like, comment, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. We will see you then.